poppin' peeps? It's the former president of the Fat Guy Alliance, the current president of the TBX 420 Club, your hero, your role model, the person you want to be like when you grow up. That TONY, the urban franchise, Tony, Montana, and peeps. It's Halloween. And this year, I'm joined by my brother, the infamous
Doc the Clown from stucorp. So good to see you again, boys and girls. You're probably wondering, weren't we just in a huge battle about a belt? Well, yes, we were. But as you know, I am a kind and considerate person. So I put aside our differences, because Halloween is my favorite time of the year.
And it's mine as well. And we're brothers, and it's our favorite time of year. We grew up in the same home, that's why. We had an awesome mom that always made Halloween special. And we try to contribute to making Halloween special to everyone else around the year. So this year, we have an epic Halloween special for you guys, where we're going to tell you guys how to survive how we would survive specific urban legends around the world. And this first urban legend we're going to start off with.
It's something actually from our homeland.
Yeah.
Well, yes, we are born from Canada, but when I say homeland, I mean our background.
Yeah, where both of our parents were born, Trinidad and Tobago. As last behind the camera, hit them up with that footage right now. The Duen is a mythological entity from Trinidad and Tobago folklore. The legendary little creature, a Duen, is the spirit of an infant who died before it was baptized and now wanders the forest. Its feet is turned backwards, its big head covered with a large mushroom-shaped hat so that its face is not seen. Joiners with others of its kinds, it bands together to lure children or hunters into the forest until they are led astray. Their most recognized characteristic is their backwards feet, with the heel facing the front and the knees are backwards too. If they hear a child's name, then they can call to the child in the voice of the child's parents to lure them away into the forest. We were told as kids when visiting Trinidad that the Duens turn you into one of them when they do this. They wear a big floppy straw hat to hide their face. Apparently they don't have a face. In some pictures it seems like they do, others they don't. They just have a small mouth to speak with spiky teeth apparently. They're largely mischievous. They play pranks on people, raid gardens, and seem to enjoy children astray in the woods. This is one that we actually knew because we were Trinidad. Okay, yeah, peeps. Those things, the Duens, literally, when I was 10 years old and he was 6 years old, we were kids going on vacation to Trinidad, and we heard our grandfather, our father, and other family members speaking of stories about this. And there was this we used to run around with our cousins, and they told us about how those things would pull you. And I remember before even going to Trinidad, my Uncle Nan, he would tell me that they would twist your feet and turn you into one of them. So Duens was something that, from when I was a kid, I was scared. Do you remember when we were kids and they told us about that? Or were you too small to remember?
The funny thing about that is, when I heard these things supposedly would kidnap kids and twist your feet,
yeah,
two things. Never took it seriously, and I didn't see that as a big deal. If you're trying to scare a kid with a story, make it terrifying. To me, simply twisting a kid's feet is not terrifying. So, it never terrified me. I can't say the same about my sibling here.
Well, here's the thing. When I was a kid, because they turned you into one of them, it kind of did. So I think we'll just have to give a double answer on this from both of us. Give an answer how we're going to react now if we encounter them. Because they try to mislead you and be mischievous as an adult. And be if they tried to lead you astray as a kid. For me, as an adult, I think I would just... because I watch so much survival shows and stuff like that, I would identify where the sounds are coming from and start pelting rocks at it. As a kid, I was a pretty stupid kid, so I might have fell for it, and I would have 50-50. If someone wasn't there to protect me, I might have been caught by them. I won't even lie.
Let's see. As a kid, I was smart enough not to go into the forest at night, so that wouldn't have been an issue for me. As an adult, this might be considered a bad thing, but I would do it anyway. I'll just put the whole forest on fire.
Now, an interesting thing. I asked my mom how to survive them. I said I asked my dad, so I could have got both my parents' opinion. My mom told me that you used to make a bomb. You used to take kerosene and essentially make like a Molotov cocktail.
Molotov cocktail?
Yeah, and throw them to where they are. So that works, throwing the Molotov. But I kind of feel for me, I would want to make sure that I get that physical satisfaction of pelting something and knowing the pain came right from me. I don't know.
Orange, that is both reckless and stupid. My idea, by setting the whole forest ablaze, is better, because I know damn sure they're going to die.
Yeah, but then you have to worry about the boys. We're not even covering them, but next year we're going to cover them. They're the keepers of the forest in Trinidad. And if you mess with the Duens, you got to mess with them. They're scary. We'll deal with them next year, because they're too scary for this year. But peeps, let's jump into number 2.
Yes, because you heard our responses. I did not ask our parents how to deal with them, because I feel my tactic would work. The way how I would do it, I wouldn't get a match. I too would use a Molotov cocktail, because they're easy as hell to make. You just make one, you throw little things on the tree, then you just toss. Then you run away.
All right, guys.
And
so
worst case scenario, if you get caught, blame it on your cousin.
Yeah, you got enough of them when you're down there. It helps you get away with anything, we know. Sorry,
the
guys.
amount of stuff that we have done when we were there.
No, let's cut it there. We don't want them to hate us because we're planning to go back down. Ask last behind the camera. Let's show them the second urban legend, cryptoid. Wahilas are gigantic wolves with wider heads, spread out toes, long white fur, much like the prehistoric direwolves. They are said to hang out in the Northwest Territory, specifically the remote Nahini Valley, and their hobbies include ripping off your head. This is so established, in fact, that the area has been nicknamed the Valley of the Headless Man, due to more than a few decapitated corpses turning up there. All of these murders, of course, have been blamed on the Willie Wahila, who allegedly stands 4 feet at shoulder length. Like caddies, this monster bears a strong resemblance to the mythical Inuit creature, one called an Amok. That's pretty much the same idea, except for the Amok is gray and less about eating your head off than it is about eating you for being dumb enough to hunt alone.
And we're back. I hope you enjoyed that. Now, my brother's gonna tell what the next creature is on our list.
Well, as you guys just saw in that clip right there, the Wahilas, these are some serious adversaries in the Northwest Territories, Northern Canada. Fortunately, we're in Ontario, so we don't have to deal with these guys. But, damn, they're like, that entire area where they are is known as like Headless Cove. Because they just decapitate. They have literally found that much decapitated corpses without their heads. Think about that.
Exactly. These are no simple small wolves, no. These are true predators that fear no man. So get that notion out of your head.
They're like the size of dire wolves. Like if you've watched Game of Thrones, you have an idea of how big a dire wolf is. Think bigger and more ferocious.
And actually smarter. It won't just come walking up towards you from the front. No. It will come from behind and from the sides. Because remember, they can see clearly in the dark, but we can't.
Yeah. How would you survive this, Dr. Crow?
Well, not to brag or show off or anything. Remember, wolves are my people.
As you can see in this little down below.
So, for me, I would not need to fight nor run, because it would be the equivalent of meeting a family member. We would probably hunt together, which, if you remember one of my past videos, when I took some of my colleagues to exercise trip in the forest, who do you think helped me got rid of certain employees? I didn't kill them all myself. Peter.
Okay, hey, those cuts out right there. We don't need that information in public. How would I survive Wahila?
Don't you dare harm my people.
It'd actually be really hard because it's not a werewolf, so you can't be as simple as saying I'm going to use a silver bullet.
Exactly. Although, to clarify, it only works on a regular wolf. If the wolf in question is an alpha, silver won't work.
Well, no, that's not necessarily. A silver bullet, if you have enough of them, is going to kill anything when it comes to a regular wolf.
That's what I said.
With werewolves?
With werewolves, if it's a regular werewolf, yes. But the moment you see it's an alpha, silver doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, that's correct. And you guys go and watch our previous Halloween episodes where we did talk about werewolves. We'll put the link at the end of this video down below so you can go and check that out and find a werewolf episode of all the information.
But the reason why I know that, because
we did an episode on it previously.
Exactly. But she didn't finish, but go ahead.
For me, so it's not as simple as that. But it's as simple as, do I have prep time? If I have prep time and I know what I'm dealing with, I kind of feel you would know what to bring with you. In that scenario, you would need like an army of lions, first off.
Okay, that is bullshit and cheating.
If I have prep time, I will facilitate that if I can do that. And if I can't use other animals as weapons, you bring an RPG. But if okay, it's known for decapitating your head. Are you gonna even give it a chance? Am I gonna take a sniper and give it a chance to take my head off right away?
Yeah, that's the funny thing. Some people think by using a sniper, or in this case, a hunting rifle, but keep in mind how those guns actually work. They shoot one round at a time.
Yeah, you gotta reload it after each shot.
And if it's not a kill shot, which you're not gonna bring down one of these for a single round.
Not at all.
Keep in mind, the moment you wound an animal, especially something like this, it's going to get pissed off.
And it's coming right at, and something that size is coming right at you. Even a shotgun is not going to be enough. A RPG may seem like overkill, but it is going to be what is needed to get the job done.
To think, you would use a bloody RPG against one of my kind.
I don't want my head ripped off.
Or, you know, a simpler response was, simply call me, and I'll tell him to calm down. Just remember, I'm the overlord. All alphas answer to me.
Well, yes, if you are available in that scenario, but you don't know what the scenario is. All right, peeps. Now, we've already come to our home country. Why don't we get to something that is closer to home? Slash behind the camera.
Show them the next clip. This one's going to be really interesting.
Old Yellowtop is just a blonde Sasquatch who hangs out in Ontario instead of British Columbia. Wait, he's in Ontario? That's where I live. And originally it was reported in a newspaper in 1906 and sometimes called a pre-Cambrian shield man. Its OYT is often mistaken for a bear until people get a load of its yellow mane and its talent for running around on 2 legs instead of 4. The beast fur is dark everywhere, except for its head, and is said to rock about a shoulder-length hairdo. For a while, it was sighted about once every 20 or 25 years, but its last cameo was in 1970, when it walked across the world in front of a vehicle carrying a group of miners, almost caused the driver to plunge down a rock cut.
Now we're back. I hope that video was very enlightening.
Yeah, peeps. Old Yellowtop. This is where we live, dude. This is Ontario. Like, even when I was doing that voiceover, I was just like, what the hell? I live in Ontario. This is like...
Like, I have seen and heard that there are different kinds and types of the Yeti, Sasquatch,
Bigfoot, whatever you call them.
But to think that there was a breed like that here in our homeland.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, I remember when we were kids, I had an obsession with topics like this, and him specifically was terrified of Bigfoot. And a lot
See, I was terrified for a good reason, because we have yet to really search all the wilderness, so they're out there.
Yeah, I used to have like posters of Bigfoot, and I'd have all these books, and he used to be so terrified. I remember the first year I had my own money to buy a monkey mask, he was scared. By the next year, he was over it because he dealt with it once, because he got a little older. But yeah, this is one that's kind of close to home, because the Bigfoot, that was something I was a fan of. And then you've now, being a horror fan, you've watched multiple Bigfoot horrors, right?
Yeah, so essentially I know how to deal with them. Now, I'd only be able to deal with one as an adult. Always as a kid, I'd pretty much up shit Creek River, I'd be totally fucked.
Yeah.
But as an adult, the best way to go about doing this is, most people don't seem to know, but I'll let you on a tip. What a Bigfoot does when it's stalking you, right? It will either get a big branch or the antlers of a deer or moose and will run around in a circle, hitting the trees. It makes a distinct noise. The noise is meant to confuse and scare you.
Yeah, and it's doing it in a circle to make you have no idea what direction it's coming from, just to throw you off, so you don't know where to expect it.
Now, the best way, or I should say the most ideal time to fight this thing is during the day, because unlike most creatures, it comes out both during the day and the night.
Yeah.
Your best bet is during the day.
Mm-hmm.
And now, this is where modern technology comes into play. Now, I'm going to plant a bunch of claymores all over the place on the ground. That dumb fuck is eventually going to run and trip one, and it's going to blow his damn legs off. Then I'm going to come up with not one, but two judge guns and blow his head off. Because there's been no reports or indication that he's bulletproof. So I would say 2 judge guns, 2 to the head. And yes, that's an actual gun. Look it up, the judge. 2 of them.
I am the law.
2 in the head. Or if I want to be fancy, a Desert Eagle. And if you're wondering what a claymore is, essentially a landmine used in the military. There's 2 types. Either I can detonate it remotely, or there's this laser that's totally invisible, so he's not going to see it. And when he passes it, there's going to be a big bang. And before I shoot him, I'm probably going to laugh. Because he's going to be like, what the fuck was that? Why is my legs gone? But that's how Dr. Clone will do it. Because those fucker Sasquatches are taking up space in the woods. Well, my people, the wolves, of all species of wolves, rule. But they want to play, they want to come in our woods. Oh, right. Your turn.
Well, peeps. Okay, here's the one thing. It all depends on the scenario. Now, with the Sasquatch, they're supposedly the missing link. And there is a rumor that they are supposedly telepaths. So they may be able to read my mind and figure out whatever plans I have. So I got to take that into anticipation. So no matter what I do, I got to be consistently not thinking about what I'm physically doing and just do things. So I'm going to, first off, to block against them actually, if they potentially do have this telepath problem, consistently keep a song in my head and just be singing in my head the entire time. But
Wait, which song?
It
has to be a really long one with a lot of words.
The song that never ends.
Seriously?
It has to be something that never ends. And you know how the song goes. If we can't start that song because it won't end. It'll be the rest of the video. But you know how that song goes.
Well, yeah, sure. When we were kids. At first I liked it, but now it's just fucking annoying.
Yeah, because it never ends. So I'll keep that going in my head and keep actively moving towards finding an evasive action against them. Now I gotta first figure out if there's something that I can become peaceful with and try to communicate, figure out their origin, how much of their history is recorded, base it against what we have recorded in our history. If I can't do that, then obviously I'm gonna have to take it out. Now Sasquatches, they're like just giant, like bear, bigger than twice the size of bear-sized gorillas. So I feel in that case, with a Sasquatch, I can use a sniper because they try to be sneaky, and if I figure out exactly where they are, I want to keep my distance. There's something I do not want to get close range with, but they are also something that will die with a headshot, or something that I can injure with one or two shots from a distance and be able to capture it.
Yeah, that's true. Because, like I said, they're not bulletproof. As for the supposed psychic link thing, I wouldn't worry. Why do you think I have this unique hat on? No one could enter nor read my mind. I can enter others' minds, but only if I choose to. And I'm not an asshole, so I never will. Maybe when I'm in class doing an exam, then yes, because I want perfect marks.
Don't we all, good brother. All right, well, as us behind the camera, let's show them the next one. The Goatman is a humanoid cryptid most commonly associated with Louisiana, Maryland, and Texas. It is described as 7-foot-tall hybrid creature, part man, part goat. Some claim it is a relative of the New Orleans evil chupacabra, like cryptid the Grunts. The urban legends of them often tells of it killing young couples in parked cars or scouring neighborhoods killing family pets. There's also tales of them breaking into people's houses and raping its victims. And many attest from the areas that it haunts, it does not matter if you're man or woman. He will overtake you and rape you nonetheless. When scared teenagers whisper about the Goatman, not all agree on the form he takes. Some say he was a man who kept goats and went mad after teenagers killed his flock, driven to seek revenge against any youngster. But perhaps the most tantalizing version traces the origin of Goatman to Belleville's Agricultural Research Center, a sprawling USDA facility anchored by a big brick building appointed with white columns. In this version, a mad scientist is conducting experiments on goats when something goes horribly wrong, turning them into a half-man goat beast that is naturally hungry for blood. Goatman's usually always seen with his axe, which is what he uses to break into people's houses and cars. Holy shit. Yeah, this Goatman is like one scary flipping dude. Oh my, okay, I'm gonna rant, so you go first, Dr. Clone. You go first.
Well, considering this thing's MO, I'm not sure whether to be terrified or impressed. Man, to think a creature is intelligent enough to not only wield weapons, but knows the concept. If you break into a house, that's where your victims are. Or being able to smash and break through cars, which that's not as easy as some people would think. Now the filing people thing, I do not approve of. That is a dick move on this thing's part.
Yeah, that.
If you want to kill teenagers, go right ahead. I hate teenagers. Teenagers piss me off. Especially on the bus. Little obnoxious bastards won't shut the hell up. I'm just trying to sit there, minding my own business. Little fuckers talking about test exams or I touched some girl's shoulder. Who gives a fuck if you touched a girl's shoulder? Did you kiss her? You damn virgin? Anyway, before I get off topic, hold on. Yes. Now, based on what I've seen about the Goatman, since it's smart enough to use weapons, I'm going to need to be very tactical about this one. Now, unlike other things, this thing only comes at night. So, the one thing I'm definitely going to need is night vision goggles, so I can see this asshole. The next thing I'm going to need is a grenade launcher. And the reason why I need a grenade launcher is because when I fire I'm not trying to actually hit this thing. I want to hit around it and scare it and make it run in a particular direction. Because what I understand, this thing can move pretty fast. And I can't run much these days anymore. So, I'm going to lure it. I want to lure it to my spot. I'm going to pull out a classic. Now, in the supposed Hollywood movies, this is seen as the bad guy's gun, but I'm calling bullshit on that. I'm going to pull out the AK-47. A nice, reliable assault rifle. Durable, powerful, easy to use. And I'm going to riddle his ass with bullets until he falls down to the ground. An AK-47, that's the assault weapon to use because unlike most guns, it doesn't need a lot of maintenance. It's a man's gun. Don't let those Hollywood movies trick you. It's not a bad guy's gun. It's a man's gun. Damn Hollywood.
Well, okay, peeps. How I would handle the Goatman. First off, this son of a... This is the most deplorable...
It's okay. Calm down.
This is the most deplorable creature in all of history, and he deserves the worst death. If I have prep time, I am bringing the arsenal of Batman, and I am torturing his ass as much as I can. I will do every single bad thing possible to that evil. I don't care if he's the scientist or the guy who lost his herd. The things that he does to people is just wrong. Now, if this is a scenario in real life and it is a horror movie, and I'm stuck in I'm attacked in my house or some random house or something, I am finding the first knife or blade that I can, and I am stabbing this fucking piece of shit in the dick as many times as I can, because I will not be raped. In a real life scenario, I will not survive against the Goatman. Dr. Clone probably wouldn't either. But he rapes people when he attacks them, as you saw in the video before. I will stab him in the dick as many times as I can to make sure he will not rape me. I'll be like, you can kill me. Yeah, you can eat me if you want, but you will not rape me. You will not rape me. I will not let that happen to me right now. Something else. Did you see those pictures, peeps? Did you see those pictures? I am not letting that happen to me.
Why do you think I said I was going to use an AK-47?
I will kill that. I will hope I would kill him, but that will not. Okay, I don't even want to talk about this nasty thing anymore. Assholes behind the camera, give them the next creature. The Groot-lang is a legendary cryptid that is reputed to dwell in a deep cave in South Africa. According to legend, the Groot-lang is a primordial creature as old as the world itself. Tales state that gods, new to crafting of things, made a terrible mistake in the Groot-lang's creation and gave it tremendous strength, cunning, and intellect. Realizing their mistake, the gods split the Groot-langs into two separate creatures, thus creating the first elephants and the first snakes. But the original Groot-langs escaped from this. After the Groot-langs are born, it is claimed to devour elephants by luring them into caves. The cave is known as the Wonder Hole, or the Bottomless Pit. Supposedly, it connects to the sea, which is 40 miles away. According to local legend, the cave is filled with diamonds. It's also said to live in warm rivers and lakes. In Bayon, it is said to be a huge elephant-like creature with a serpent's tail. Sometimes it's depicted as having orange gems for eyes. Also, according to the tale, Groot-langs really love gems, particularly diamonds. And despite the creature's lust for cruelty, victims can often bargain for their freedom by offering a Groot-lang enough precious gems.
And we're back.
The Groot's slang skin. This is like, wow. Okay, wow.
You know, I had no idea such a thing even existed until we, researched it.
Yeah, literally, he showed me the video of this, and I was just like, what? Okay, we got a cool one from Africa, but it's just like...
Because I made it quite clear. We wanted to show things that I'm pretty sure, unless you're a huge fan or like to research things, you would have never heard of this.
Yeah, and this is something that is apparently from the start of the history of the Earth, which makes it really cool.
Yeah, we're talking about something that's pretty much fucking ancient. And when something's ancient, it has more powers than you think because it can develop new abilities.
As I said in the voiceover earlier, the gods decided that they made a mistake because how powerful, how cunning, and how intelligent it was. They had to split it into a snake and an elephant. Now think about it. The snake and the elephant originally was one creature. Is that not scary just to think about?
And to make matters worse, because they were together, that implies they were bigger, smarter, and more powerful. When they say more powerful, that means a lot of physical strength.
They ate elephants. They lured elephants and ate them.
Take that in. How many things can actually kill and eat an elephant? Even a pack of lions struggled to kill an elephant, let alone trying to eat one. And that takes the entire pride. It has to be at least 30 or more lions, including the male who gets off his fat ass to help.
And they are picking off elephants like how we go fishing. That's just crazy. And, wow. Do humans even eat elephants?
Last time I checked, what we do, it's totally wrong and I do not condone this. And if I catch you doing this, I'm going to put you down myself. It's known as the ivory trade, where they would steal the tusks of elephants. Now, I think that's wrong.
Yeah.
You should not do that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I completely 100% agree with that. How would you handle a Groot-lang?
Well, no. Considering this is an ancient creature, I will not kid myself. I will not be able to best this creature in terms of brute strength. No. I will handle this as a businessman. Since I am the ruler of wolves, I would make an alliance with it. You see, it craves gems and diamonds. We have quite a few of those ourselves. So we would make a peace arrangement. We would give them a certain amount, and they will stay out of the force, since they're in Africa anyway. I'm sure this will appease this creature, since that's all it wants. Sure, it's known for cruelty and killing, but if you could appease its greed, which I know how to, because I'm a businessman, that'd be the best course of action. Besides, I'm not going to be responsible for killing an ancient. There are consequences when you kill an ancient. I'm not about to piss off certain individuals, or I should say, certain beings. I already have enough enemies as is.
Well, the rebuttal, or to argue that last point you made, the gods wanted them destroyed, if you paid attention to the voiceover.
Well, sure. Some, but not all of them.
And here's how I would deal with them. These guys...
Because if you think about it, even though this would escape, they could easily just come back and taking it out, but some of them wanted to keep it. You gotta take that in mind. Sure, they wanted to get rid of it, but some wanted to keep it.
Well, I guess that's why supposedly in urban legend or the cryptoid beliefs, they still exist somewhere out there, right?
Yes.
For me, something like this, something this intelligent, this cunning, who would be as strategic as I am when it comes to planning an evasive attack. There is several plans of action. It's bigger than elephants. Part snake, and as you guys saw, there was multiple pictures of it.
So there are different versions of this thing.
Yeah, so it's like you don't even know what you're coming up against.
Some versions are more terrifying than others.
First off, if I had prep time and I was able to plan this, their fascination with their greed, I would have time to come up with gems that will have a device that's within them that would help me possess these things and control them. They're devastating, killing beings, and I will bribe them with beautiful gems and diamonds, but those diamonds would enslave them to me, just because of how devastating they are.
I suppose you could do that. That's almost like my plan, with an equal partnership.
But if I was in a one-in-a-mil scenario where I encountered them, and it was life or death, them or me, I would find whatever weaponry at my disposal. And here's the thing. It's an elephant and a snake. And it's a big elephant and a snake. Both devastating creatures. Both big, devastating, but not invulnerable.
But hold on. They never said that. That's the thing. Keep in mind. They use the term ancient. So, there's no guarantee modern weapons would be able to kill this thing. Why do you think I didn't go with my normal approach? How to deal with things like this?
My strategy would be to get away. Due to the fact that it's ancient and it would not be invulnerable to whatever weaponry potentially, I would be able to get away with it. Because killing it is not going to do me any value. And especially as you alluded to earlier, anything ancient, it would be an injustice to take it away if it would survive this long.
Exactly.
All right. Well, ask us behind the camera. Let's get to the final urban legend creature. The Mongolian Death Worm. Which its name means intestine worm due to its red blood-like color and size, which is the size of an intestine. It has been described by many to be from anywhere from 2 to 7 feet long, have the ability to spit out a corrosive yellow saliva and generate blast of electricity. Yeah, blast of electricity. However, the latter power is thought to be just folklore by the nomads or the gooby. Western culture has come to call this monster the Mongolian Death Worm. Mongolian nomads believe that the giant worm covers its prey with an acidic substance that turns everything a corroded yellow color. Legends say that as the creature begins to attack, it raises half of its body out of the sand and starts to inflate until it explodes, releasing the lethal poison all over the unfortunate victim. The poison is so venomous that the prey dies instantly. Livestock and humans are supposed to be its main prey. Mongolian Death Worm. What do you think about that, Dr. Clone?
Well, considering I find worms both disgusting and creepy.
Like, when we were kids, when we ate spaghetti, I used to F with him and say, "That's worms in that pasta."
Yeah, this asshole here, I was traumatized to eat both pasta and noodles and all things that look like it for fucking years. What made it worse, some sick bastard actually made a kid's book and movie about this, making it more believable
How to
to
eat
me.
a fried worm.
Can you imagine that? Some sicko made a book about some kid actually eating worms for a bet. It wasn't even a lot of money. It was like $30 friggin' I think.
What?
But I guess to a kid that's a lot of money. That's why I think kids are dumb.
$30?
Yeah, I think it's $30.
For what?
I know in the movie itself he wanted the money for something.
Oh.
But it's like magically you can't ask your parents. So you gotta ask the classroom bullies who magically somehow have the money. But no, they want you to do something messed up like that. I was traumatized with the fact that, oh, fuck, worms! Yeah. Fucking yeah.
I only ever did it because my mom's an amazing cook, and when she made spaghetti and meatballs, like it was homemade meatballs.
Shut up, it's not funny. And what made it even worse? I don't know if people remember, but there was also another
homemade
cartoon.
pasta. Oh.
There was another cartoon called
Homemade
Earthworm
sauce.
Jim.
Oh, that was a cool game, though.
You want to made it worse for me? If you remember, the game preview itself, it was an old lady eating fucking worms. How do you not remember that?
Oh my God, yes! I remember you would run up the stairs.
You know how much that shit traumatized me?
Like, here's such a thing. Like, as brothers, we'd have to look out for each other. Certain commercials or cartoons would trigger each of us. So, I would have to change them right away if they came on, if I saw them. And some vice versa for him. So there was certainly, that was one that we would always try to avoid.
But anyway.
Mongolian Death Worm. How are you dealing with it, Dr. Cohen?
Well, now that I'm older and I passed that trauma, there's other things I need to now deal with. Apparently, not only is this goddamn thing huge and burrows under the ground, and apparently shoots both a poison and acid, occasionally sometimes fire, and can also discharge electricity? Like, what in the nine fucks?
Yeah, that electricity, although it's not in all depictions, as you saw in the earlier clips, it is just messed up.
But luckily, it's just an oversized worm that just happens to have natural element abilities, so there's only one goddamn thing to do. One thing.
That's right.
I'm gonna go to the zoo and steal every single vulture and hawk I can find and stick it on that asshole. And for good measure, falcons. Jay will rip that cunt up into pieces and eat him.
That is the most practical answer that there is, and it's the most natural, practical answer you could ever hope for. That was just like, that's good. I like it.
I should also bring in some crows. Because all these birds, they obviously don't like each other. But if you get enough of them, because remember, they flock in their huge numbers. Enough of them would kill this thing. Because there has been no indication that this thing can't die. So, you get its natural enemy. Birds. Lots of friggin' birds are the most dangerous species. The ones I just mentioned. I'll mention them again. A hawk. A crow. An eagle, and a vulture, then the mighty falcon, and I guess if you want to be fancy, an owl. You get those species of birds, it will kick this thing's ass and eat it for you while you sit down.
No pelicans?
Oh, I'm not getting pelicans. Pelicans are lazy bitches. I'm not going to get them. But you get those species of birds I just mentioned, and you can sit back, drink a beer, and scratch your nuts.
That is a great strategy. For me, oh my god. It's a giant worm. Like, okay, I love fishing, but the worst part about fishing is putting the worm on the hook.
Yeah, that's why whenever we have to do it, I have to wear fucking gloves.
Yeah, that's one thing we exercise. Like, we took our older brother's tackle box one year to go camping with our family, with our parents. It was essentially us, Aslas, and our parents. So, yeah. And then we noticed our older brother left a pair of plastic gloves. And we used those plastic gloves that he left in his tackle box to put the worms on the hook, because that was the only practical use that we saw for those gloves. Did we not?
Yeah. You see, originally I was just going to ask Ashley to do it for me.
I don't think Aslas would have done that. She's nodding in her head. It's like, the nod is like a fuck you, are you stupid? Nod right now. She's giving you. But here's the thing. For me, giant worms, explosives. You either trick the giant worm to consume multiple explosives to blow it up.
Oh, are you talking about like dynamite or grenades?
Either one you can use. I actually feel that pipe bombs, so that I can do it remotely, or claymores, just so that you can do it remotely.
Oh yeah, that's actually more practical and smarter. A pipe bomb or claymore.
That way, as soon as it's inside of it, then you hit it. And
yeah, but you gotta make sure that your shit is far, because even when you blow them up, remember, there's still poison and shit inside.
no, that's the thing. You gotta make sure to have a line of troops who are suicidal. And I would particularly recruit, if I have prep time, recruit people who are willing to do a suicide mission.
Oh, so you're talking about like old vets and shit.
Yeah, who are gonna go in, because we know this thing is gonna come out and it's gonna blow up and put that poison out there. Have people to take that, but after it does that, it's vulnerable for a moment. But it's not gonna expect me to have more people after to come after it.
And it's not that we're disrespecting vets. It's just some of them would rather go out
I wouldn't
and blaze
say
in
vets.
glory.
Just like anyone who is willing to go on a suicide mission, who's for the cause, I explain to them what is at risk and what's going to happen. And if they're willing to do that mission, great. You find the people who will do that mission. Now, you've got an answer on these 6 things. We're going to do 10, but we'll stop at 6 right now.
Yes, because we don't want to overwhelm you with such vast knowledge.
Cheers, brother.
Now, if you happen to like this video and what we put out, we might consider doing a part 2 by putting more features.
Yeah, we could do more episodes on urban legends because there's a lot more out there and there's a lot more for us to look up. Like, we saw so many things that we wanted to do video on, so it was kind of a disappointment, and to think that we would have to limit it to just a Halloween special. So if you guys like this, let us know in the comments, and we might make this a regular series because there's enough out there for us to make this a regular series.
Yeah, enough to do a good amount of episodes, because this doesn't need to be limited to this solely Halloween. Because hell, I see plenty of channels doing scary stuff all the time. There's no reason or sense why we can't either.
Well, with that being said, peeps, we're going to go jump into our outros right now. But thank you for joining us for this Halloween special. And I know things are different this year. And it's not the ideal Halloween. But just, you have your family. Be grateful that you're around your loved ones. You have people that you know. Go and buy a bunch of candy. If you have kids, go and buy a bunch of different types of candies. Don't be cheap and buy one type of bag. Get them a bunch of candies and put it around. Let them do a candy search. Do whatever. Enjoy this. Get them a costume. Do a homemade costume. Let's go old school. I know my older brother and my older sister, they always made their Halloween costumes when they were kids. So why don't you guys do the same? Make it a family thing and have something to do together. Carve pumpkins. Have a pumpkin contest. I know they're cheaper than they usually are. So why don't you guys have a contest carving them? Halloween, it's been one of our favorite holidays growing up always.
Yes, it has.
So find a way to enjoy it.
I'll just say this. Because of this unfortunate business, great injustice is being done. We can't go trick-or-treating, us kids. You're pissed off about it. I'm pissed off too. Because I was going to go trick-or-treating. I don't give 9 fucks if I'm too old. I like candy.
Yeah, he's really short compared to me. Peeps, that's the one thing. It's really bothered me that the kids don't get to go trick-or-treating, and that's why it's make it up to the kids. You know, this Halloween's about the kids. Yes, we all like to go the clubs and wear slutty costumes and rub up and grind on each other. But
Wait, you wear slutty costumes?
Everyone does at the clubs.
Ugh, you kids.
But for the kids, it's about the candy. They don't care about trick-or-treating. They care about the candy.
Well, and yeah, what kid wouldn't care about getting free candy, which now they're being denied?
And they don't want one type of candy. The best thing about Halloween is multiple types of candy. My advice to every single one of you, go to the dollar store. Buy a bunch. You can go to Shoppers and buy one good bag for $5. Or go to the dollar store and get like 10 bags for $10. It's all up to you, people.
Or if you want to be really fancy, go to Walmart. They sell those huge-ass things for like the lowest prices. Now, I'm not trying to advertise Walmart. I'm just saying.
We're going to end it right there, so you want to take your outro first?
Very well. Oh, and if you're wondering, yes, these are Dr. Clone's pajama pants. Don't judge me. I was asleep. Now, we'll end this the same way how we always ended here, since this video is going to be on both pages. Never forget, you too could be a member of stucorp. Because everyone wants to be a member, don't they? Now it's your turn.
Well, peeps, you know how we just end this here? I asked you guys to do a few things, and I tell you guys what is up. But guess what, peeps? If you enjoyed this video, please, give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs down. Whatever you feel I deserve. Go in the comments and be heard. Tell me what I'm doing right. Tell me what I'm doing wrong so I can make the changes to keep you guys happy. Notification bells, all that good stuff. And subscribe. There's that subscribe button. And peeps, if you can, if you will. Do you see that join button beside the subscribe button? We have the exclusive membership program here in the TBX420 Club, where you get exclusive videos and goodies, whether it comes from badges, monthly giveaways, and prizes. If you pay a monthly fee, it's a new feature we have, but if you join it, trust me, you will not be disappointed. Everyone who joins gets an option to write an episode. You get to pick what I do and what Dr. Clone does in an episode. You write the script. Be sure to follow me on everything else, TBX420 Club. Starting off the official Instagram page, the TikTok, and the official Twitter, TBX420 Club, one word. You want my more mature content? Follow me on Snapchat, TBX420 Club. If you want a game from me, TBX420 Club, this is TBX420 on PSN. TonyMon420 on Xbox Live. Stay good, peeps, and keep it blitz.